Welcome to a new season of W&L Sports Weekly. I'm Jeremy Franklin. On our first show of the school year, we'll speak with volleyball coach Bryan Snyder, women's cross country captain Kate McCreary, and football captain Will Dyson. But first, a quick look back at the weekend in Washington and Lee athletics. Both cross country teams finished first at the ODAC preview meet in Buena Vista. Max Strahler won the men's race, while the women placed 3 runners in the top 6. Men's soccer earned its second win this season against a nationally ranked opponent, defeating number 18 Ohio Wesleyan 3-1 on the road. The Generals also picked up a 1-0 victory over Worcester. Women's soccer fell 2-1 to 5th-ranked Center, but rebounded to shut out Birmingham Southern 3-0. Football overcame a 17-0 fourth-quarter deficit to win 21-17 at Sewanee. Field hockey scored a pair of home wins, downing St. Mary's and Kenyon by 3-1 score lines. And the volleyball team went 4-0 at the annual W&L Invitational, defeating Center, Averett, Southern Virginia, and St. Mary's to claim the tournament title. With me in the studio is volleyball coach Bryan Snyder. Bryan, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Jeremy. It's great to be back again.
That 4-0 performance at your home invite moved your record to 7-1 on the season. What's working well for the Generals early on this year?
Well, I think so far we've played very balanced on offense, and we've really been focusing on keeping our unforced errors low. That's kind of a work in progress. There have been some matches where we've done a really good job with that, other matches where we haven't. But in general, we've served tough, kept the other team off the net, and then when we get the ball on our side of the net, we're able to generate a swing a very high percentage of the time, and that's something that we're really trying to stress this year, is every time we have possession of the ball to make sure we get a quality swing.
You mentioned the words offensive balance. You've got 4 different players averaging over 2 kills per set right now. How pleased have you been with the offense so far?
Well, pretty pleased. I mean, it's still early, and so we're still working some things out from a timing perspective, and we're still figuring out exactly what we want to do in each of the 6 rotations, who hits what tempos best. But so far, so good. I mean, I definitely think we have more options this year than we have in the past, and we've been spreading the ball around well. I think Elena West has been doing a great job with her decision making, and we've passed the ball well. So that's allowed us to actually run a game plan rather than just set the ball where the pass allows us to.
Would you say the W&L's depth has improved across the board this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're deeper at every position than we have been. I think I said this in the season preview, since at least 2013 and probably even before then. And I think the biggest area that's helping is in practice. We are able to compete at a much higher level on a daily basis. Last year when we would have long rallies in practice, they would typically end due to one team or the other making an error. And this year that's not happening. Both teams are able to play at a high level for long stretches of time, so people are having to figure out ways to actually terminate points with kills or blocks rather than waiting for the other team to make an error. And I think that's translating well to us in the competition arena, where we're able to win a lot of those long rallies ourselves rather than waiting for the other teams to make errors.
The Generals open up conference play against Eastern Mennonite in Bridgewater this weekend. What are your expectations for the ODAC in 2016?
Well, I think it's going to be a very tough conference again. I mean, every year the ODAC gets better. People are going out and playing tougher non-conference schedules, so when we get to the conference portion of the season, everyone's already played against tougher competition and has played at a high level and has seen a little bit of everything, so everyone's prepared. The athletes are getting better. The coaching is getting much more consistent. We're not seeing the turnover within the ODAC of part-time coaches and coaches only around for 1 or 2 years. So I expect it to be a tough conference this year. Every night we're going to have to be ready to play. This weekend, 2 road games, always tough to go on the road back-to-back. So we need to make sure that we continue to work hard to get better, bring our best every night, and be ready to battle. Hopefully only 3 sets, but if we have to go 5, we'll do what we have to do.
Bryan, thanks for joining us. Best of luck throughout the year.
Thanks a lot, Jeremy.
Joining me now is Kate McCreary, senior cross-country captain from Richmond. Kate, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
W&L opened the season by placing 2nd at Dickinson. This past weekend, you won the ODAC preview meet in Buena Vista. How have the Generals performed so far on the year?
I think that we've had a really strong start to the year. We had a really good preseason. Everyone worked super hard this summer, came into preseason ready to go. And we have a pretty comparable team, if not better team, to what we had last year. So I think that our showings in this first 2 meets was a good confidence boost for us. And we didn't even have our full team racing at either meet. And so there's definitely people who are not running who have the opportunity to score much later on in the season. So I think we're in a really good position right now.
After winning the ODAC and placing 3rd at regionals in 2015, this year's team was picked 1st in the ODAC preseason coaches poll. How are the Generals handling those higher expectations?
We were so excited to be picked 1st in the season poll, and of course we'd love to have the repeat performance at ODAX this year, especially because we're hosting. So it would be really fun. And it's great because it's so close, so hopefully we'll have some people out there to watch and cheer for us. And so I think that we're focused on ODAX right now. I mean, obviously Nationals would be a great experience for our team. It's one of our team goals, especially because we were only one spot away from making it last year. But really, we just know we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. It's going to take a lot of hard work to win ODAX again. And hopefully after that, we'll move our focus to regionals, and then hopefully after that, as a team, to nationals.
This is still a very young squad. There are 5 first years and 6 sophomores. You're one of just 4 upperclassmen on the roster. How are you approaching your role as one of the team's captains?
Well, I think that I am, and at least in the other captains, we're all just sort of trying to lead by example, and we really want to welcome the first years onto the team. And we have the saying on the team, like, team over everything. And so whenever we're making decisions, we want to put the team first, and just making sure that the underclassmen understand that, and they know that they can turn to us as a resource for the transition from high school to college, whether it be like through school or athletics, that we're just here for them. And I think that we're just trying to keep the team going.
You've had a good start, but the goal, of course, is to be peaking in late October or early November when the postseason rolls around. Tell us about the process as you try to make that happen over the next month and a half.
I think that really we just have to trust our training, trust Coach Mike to know that we're going to be peaking when we need to be peaking. And I think that if we think about our team like as a puzzle, like we have all the pieces that are necessary to get the team where we need to be. And it's just focusing on the little things such as stretching and icing and communicating with the trainers and getting enough sleep to see if we can fit all these pieces together by the end of the season and have the season that we want to have.
Kate, thanks for joining us. Good luck throughout the year.
Thank you so much.
Here with me now is Will Dyson, senior football captain from Indian Springs, Alabama. Will, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
W&L had a great rally in the fourth quarter to beat Sewanee 21-17 on the road this past weekend. Can that comeback serve as a springboard for the rest of the year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we knew it'd be a tough road trip going down 7 hours. It's always a tough game down there, but we stuck together. Defense held it close. Offense made some good plays at the end, and I think it'll definitely be good to have a close game where we can go back to, and really that'll help us out down the stretch in the ODAC.
After going 10-0 in the regular season last year, the Generals were picked first in the ODAC. You appeared in just about every national Division III poll in the preseason. Do you feel like there's more pressure on Washington and Lee to do well this fall?
I mean, definitely. There's always more pressure coming off a 10-0 season as opposed to last year we were playing with nothing to lose, coming off a 2-8 season. So we know that means we're going to get the best shot from every opponent we play, as evidenced last week. We just got to take it one game at a time and play our game, and we feel like we can win the ODAC again.
The Generals defense lost some key players in the front 7, but you're one of several veterans returning to the secondary. How can you use that experience in the defensive backfield to your advantage?
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of experience coming from on the other side, Gray Reams at corner, and then Michael Shields, Thomas Freeland at safety, and we've really moved defensive backs down to linebacker. With Dominic Volpe, David Hogan, we most of the time in our nickel package have 6 defensive backs on the field. So we really like to fly around and make plays, and that's in our conference. Just about every team throws the ball a lot. So we feel like we had 11 interceptions, made a lot of good plays last year. We want to bump that number up to 15 or so. Just keep being the leaders of the defense and being able to see everything on the back half. Really helps us out from a veteran standpoint.
W&L plays its home opener against Claremont Mudd Scripps on Saturday. You've got the open date after that, and then ODAC play begins against Emory and Henry on September 30th. Especially with that upcoming schedule in mind, how important is this weekend's game?
It's huge. Like we got some momentum coming from our big fourth quarter rally last week. We want to keep that up, get a good win, building our resume for possible playoff appearance, and really have as much momentum as possible going into conference play, because we know we're going to have a grind week in, week out, because in the ODAC, everybody can beat everybody on any week. So we want to be as ready as possible.
Will, thanks for joining us. Best of luck throughout the year.
Thank you.
It's time now for a look at the upcoming weekend. Volleyball kicks off ODAC play on the road. The Generals will face Eastern Mennonite on Friday, followed on Saturday by Bridgewater and a non-conference tilt against Meredith. Also Saturday, field hockey continues its homestand against Sewanee. Women's soccer visits York, and men's soccer begins ODAC action by playing host to Virginia Wesleyan. Meanwhile, football meets Claremont Mud Scripps at Wilson Field. Field hockey takes the turf again on Sunday against Washington College, and women's soccer battles St. Mary's. Elsewhere this weekend, men's and women's tennis will open their seasons at the Mary Washington Kickoff Classic. Women's golf competes in DePauw's Dan Quayle Collegiate Classic, and men's golf will take part in the NCAA Fall Preview in Florida. For W&L Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.